I promise you, I try to do something cute with my hair. It looks cute in the mirror, but like when I see myself in here, it's like, what was she thinking? Oh, I don't care. I really don't care. My socks don't even match for this video, so who cares, right? Anyways, hi guys, I missed ya. Um, boy, I got a video for you guys. First of all, let me start off by saying that I have something in my eye. No, let me start off by saying this video is probably gonna have a little bit of a tone to it, okay? I know that in this community, when you offer a different perspective or you say something that's a little bit out of the norm, you know, it can be perceived as something negative because we're so accustomed to living in an echo chamber. We have a tendency to surround ourselves with people who just echo the same things. Okay? So I did not rush back to this platform because, of course, a few of you guys picked it up. My intuition had been screaming at me for some time, okay? And I really, truly believe that, the fires, if you didn't know what was going on, we had fires, but I truly believe that the fires really put a stop to me making any kind of progress on my channel. And it was because I wasn't listening to my intuition, okay? And that's just the way the universe works. I go with that flow. I listen to and I paid attention to that block and that barrier. Not to mention I did get sick, and I will make a video about that in the future, okay? So again, I just want to apologize for any kind of tone that you might be picking up from me, okay? You guys have dubbed me the Keeping It Real Life Coach, and I do keep it real, okay? So let's dive into this, because when I pulled away, I started to become more of the observer of this community, especially on YouTube. Sweetheart, let me explain something to you. We have a problem here, but I have a solution. And part of the solution comes from a few of you guys, okay? But let me explain something to you, because I don't think everybody understands exactly who I am, where I've come from, my education, but basically I'm an integrative healing arts practitioner, okay? I am a graduate of Southwest Institute of the Healing Arts. That's right here in Arizona. That's basically the umbrella name, the umbrella title for the things that I've studied, okay? So alternative medicines and natural therapies, things like auricular therapy, psychology, world religion, essential oils, and everything else in between, okay? Now, just keep in mind, guys, that doesn't make me a leading expert in anything, okay? That doesn't make me a know-it-all. That doesn't make me a psychologist. That doesn't make me a doctor, a dentist, your veterinarian. That doesn't make me, The only reason I bring this up is to illustrate two things here, okay? First of all, I didn't get my training from YouTubers, okay? And I know that sounds harsh, but I didn't get my training that way, okay? Secondly, more importantly, it's been easier for me to spot the BS, okay? A lot of misleading information being thrown around there, things like that are just basically being regurgitated over and over again, and it's becoming a dangerous playing field, okay? Now, there are a lot of people out there who make this claim that they don't need any type of education, any type of certification, any type of training, because their soul knows how to take care of people. Their soul knows, okay? Now, there may be some truth to this, but when people who have invested a ton of money into college and invested the many years into their education and taking the time to be trained and things like that, it's very insulting to people like us, okay? Now, there are quite a few other people out there who are just like me, okay? And I do want to encourage you guys to speak up upon this, because what I'm observing is more damage is being created. I find that sometimes I'm doing more of damage control, damage cleanup, with clients and people who reach out to me. Like, it's upsetting to me, okay? We gotta stop playing psychologists. We gotta stop playing doctor, dentist. We have to stop playing around with other people's mental health, okay? And I hate to sound so rude, but it's so irresponsible and lazy if you're not taking the time out to properly educate yourself when you are dealing with people. And yeah, that was one of the things that I have basically observed is in with some people who use their platforms, every other video they're crying, they're sobbing, they're complaining about their lives. And for me, that hits me in a way like they're mentally unstable themselves. And if they're mentally unstable themselves, who are they to give advice and take your money? That's the thing. That's the kicker for me, guys, okay? They sit there and they'll take your money. They have no problem doing that. But they're out there sobbing on videos like, my life is this and my life is that. And I'm just like, wait a minute, you're so unbalanced yourself. So maybe you should take a break and take a step back and get yourself together here, because you're really screwing up, somebody else's mental health here. Guys, it's equivalent. It's equivalent to me giving you guys diet and exercise advice. Seriously, think about it. Do I look like somebody who's qualified to give you this kind of advice? Absolutely not, okay? Not a chance. Am I going to sit here and pretend like I know these things? No, because at that point, there's no integrity. Where are your morals? You're basically morally bankrupt when you are sitting there collecting somebody's money. I mean, come on, let's keep it real here, guys, right? So for all those people who don't feel like training or education or even something as simple as being certified and talking about what you're talking about on a platform, you would know things like essential oils are lethal to ingest, okay? That is one of the narratives that is being spun around lately, okay? Now, according to according to common sense, oil and water don't even mix here, okay? And if you are ingesting such essential oils, you might as well just be contacting, poison control at that point, okay? That's just one of the many things that I've heard through the grapevine, okay? Secondly, if people were properly trained, they would stop throwing the word shadow work around so carelessly, so without, they would stop throwing around that term so irresponsibly, okay? Because what we're basically saying when we're talking about shadow work is we're asking somebody to address trauma in their life, okay? Now, you could potentially unlock PTSD in somebody, okay? And you are unqualified at that point to even address childhood traumas, okay? You're underqualified to address PTSD in somebody else's life. So you could be potentially creating more harm than good, okay? That's just one other thing that I've been observing here, okay? If people were properly trained, they would be taking proper assessments of people, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? It is very, very much like when you go to see a new doctor, you go to see a new therapist, and I'm saying this more specifically in the coaching role, okay? If you were properly taking the time to assess somebody, and what I mean by that is assessing them where they're at, meeting them where they're at, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and you also are collecting information in regards to their mental health, where they are, their physical health, where they are, and you're collecting this information because as a trained professional, you know where you're going to be able to take this person. Because at some point, your training ends and, somebody else is going to have to pick up. You know what's out of your hands, what's out of your control. That's a problem that I'm seeing here too. A huge problem, is the total disregard, like mental illness and physical illnesses no longer exist. They throw that out of the window. They throw common logic out of the window. They don't even take it into consideration anymore. And I've heard a lot of people, I even called my friend out on a posting that he posted, and it was in regards to don't let people something along the lines of like, this is a spiritual gift, you're not having any mental problems. Well, there's a possibility that two things can be happening with somebody, okay? We have got to take into consideration at all times that mental illness is a real thing, okay? People's physical illnesses are a real thing. And we have got to stop pretending like these things don't exist, okay? It's so irresponsible of anybody to use their platform to talk people out of stop seeing their therapist, stop seeing their doctor, stop taking your medications altogether. I'm sorry, but nobody in this community has that authority over somebody like that. If people are actually going for their training and they're working with somebody that says, you know, I'm not really jiving with my therapist, or my therapist said this, that's things that I'm not comfortable with. It is not, you would know it is not your job to talk them out of seeing that therapist. You would want to encourage them to maybe find a different therapist, maybe where the chemistry is better. But don't just throw this advice at them like, oh, well, you just need to stop seeing your therapist, because, again, you don't know that. You don't know. Because you weren't trained, you wouldn't know what's right or wrong for somebody. I'm sorry. That's just the way it works. So I recently had a woman reach out to me who shared a story to me that shook me literally to my core. Okay. She was explaining to me, okay, so I can't really elaborate on the story because it goes against YouTube's terms of services, which is why I'm wondering how some of this information is being floated out there the way it is, okay? Because at the end of the day, the people that are pushing these things are never going to be held responsible. They'll never take accountability for the things that have happened to people, okay? Long story short, the things that she shared with me ended in tragedy for one of her friends, and it was because of the information that she was taking in, okay? Again, this is so careless of all these people to think that they don't have to have some kind of education. I'm sorry, I guess maybe because I've taken the time to observe, I've listened to your guys' story, I've seen things from your perspective, there have been things that you guys have made me aware of, and I'm just like, holy macaroni. Like, so you guys are really helping me put this together. You really are. And, this is where that spark of like, hey, we got to get this message out there. This message is so important. And so, I'm kicking around a few ideas with you guys, and you all, well, not all of you, some of you guys were too afraid of this idea, but I said, why not get on video with me and share your story, share your perspective, share the things that have been troubling you in your experience, so that we can open up this, from our hearts, our lines of communication to each other. And come from a place where we're keeping it real. Oh my God, you guys, it's so important. We cannot throw logic out the window, okay? We have to stop doing that. So that's kind of where I'm coming up with like cool things to do with this channel. I've already started putting a few guys on the calendar. I think I'm pretty booked out to February, March, like the beginning, middle-ish part of April. This is for you guys to be a part of like a video podcast with me. Now there are some stories, there are some things that we cannot talk about on this platform, but we can upload the audio to like a podcast. I think it's called Anchor. My friend Mean Gene, he has his own channel, understands my aggravation with YouTube sometimes, but he's got me curious about this Anchor thing. So if you're not comfortable with being on camera with me, it is nerve-wracking to sit here and talk to the ether. I get it. But consider this an invitation to be a part of this video podcast, because there are quite a few people who want to open up and share their stories with you guys, okay? So really, you guys, I can go on for hours and hours and hours about the things that I've uncovered, the research that the things that I've been researching, basically, because I see the problem, but I want the solution, Okay, I want to go for the solution. I don't want this to be like I'm attacking somebody. We're just going to talk about the problems, and we're going to come to a conclusion. We're going to come to a solution, and it is with the help of you guys being so brave to being a part of this. Okay, so I want to open up the channel to you guys too. If you are interested in sharing something with me, I would love for you to just reach out to me and say, hey, I want to talk to you about something. If you're not comfortable with the video, we have the podcast idea kicking around. We have so much to unpack, you guys. I'm even trying to set up an interview with my father-in-law, who's a dentist, okay? Because it came to my attention yesterday that people are running around terrified now that they've had root canals. They've had root canals, and now everybody's, oh my gosh, you guys, like seriously. So my father-in-law is an expert. I'm gonna see if he'll sit down and talk to us. So why are we doing? Who is doing? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so speechless sometimes. Okay, but again, you guys, listen to me. I am not perfect. Okay, I screw things up too. But I never want to do this. I never do it intentionally, okay? I'm a dodo butt just because I'm a dodo butt. They call me Dingy Dana in my family for a reason. Because I'm a dingbat. I screw it up. So I never want you guys to see me as somebody who's perfect, okay? I think that's another problem that I've been noticing too in this community is that just because you see somebody on a YouTube channel doesn't mean that they're perfect, okay? Anybody and their mamas can start, I'm joking, but anybody can start a YouTube channel, okay? And that's where this is getting scary. This is dangerous. And that's something that I want you to keep in the back of your mind, that anybody can start a YouTube channel. It's not that hard. And so anyways, like I said, we have a lot to unpack. If you are interested, please dive in the comments below. Reach out to me. coachdanna@yahoo.com. I almost forgot my email address. And yeah, reach out to me and let's talk about this, okay? Because if there's something troubling your heart, you're not sleeping at night, we need to have a conversation about it, okay? I love you guys. I'm pumping the brakes a little bit on tarot because I think it's necessary. I know that you guys are going to walk away with a lot more value than just tarot, okay? I want to help you guys turn your own intuitions back on here. I want you guys listening to yourself at all times. I want to get you, I've said this so much, I want to get you into a position where you're listening to yourself so much that you're not relying on tarot, you're not relying on YouTubers to give you some information, because what is being created here is a monster, and it's creating a lot of confusion. And the last thing I want for anybody is to be living in a state of confusion. Okay, I digress. It's time to go to bed. Look, I lost all my daylight. Anyways, but I love you guys. Reach out to me. Let's talk. Peace out. Bye.